Along the way, when I was explaining the idea, I noticed that I again and again keep doing this gesture of putting one tree on top of the other tree. One hand holding another hand. We're going to have one tree that is planted, alive, coming from the ground, and a second tree that went through some accident and found himself being held on top of the live tree. And that's it.
We are obviously standing on a construction site, and this is the construction site of the new Jewish Museum. As a Jewish museum, we are approached with all kinds of prejudices and all kinds of feelings. So we wanted at the center of our new entrance a sculpture and a work that opens up something for everyone. And I guess this is what Ariel Schlesinger's sculpture will do.
It was very clear to me that shape-wise we need something that is kind of vertical, because the two buildings were very tall and kind of strong elements around the entrance. So it was very clear that something had to kind of grow between them, and it was also very clear to me that it should be in an organic shape. I found the tree through really looking through a lot of trees. We took a couple of days on a road trip and we went across the countryside. Once I saw the tree, it was immediately clear that that should be the tree. Because it had such a beautiful character. So it was suddenly not a tree that you would just close your eyes and see, but a tree that actually have a character. So in a sense, it's a kind of new direction for me. Yeah, it's a tree with a lot of personality. For the process, one way to do it is, of course, cutting the tree, bringing it here to the workshop, and doing the whole stages of casting it. But in this particular case, we had to protect the tree, to keep it alive and to preserve it. So the whole operation had to happen on the spot. Since all this process have to be taken in small parts, we will have all these small segments, and those segments will be welded back together into a complete tree. So the two trees are identical trees, although one have the roots and the second is growing from the ground. So I think a sculpture needs to be able to offer many sides, different sides to its audiences, not one way. And I think a good sculpture stays like that. It stays open, because that kind of relationship is for a long term. Because you might not only meet that sculpture once, you might meet it several times a day, or several times a year, or several times during your lifetime. And like good relationship, like a good friendship, every time you meet that person or that sculpture, you discover new things. And I think that kind of connection to a sculpture is much stronger than putting a very defined idea in the public space and saying, look, that's what it means, that's how it should be. This sculpture is not. This sculpture is alive. One day you will love it, one day you will hate it, next time you will discover something new about it. And I think that kind of change is interesting.
For Ariel Schlesinger, as a conceptual artist, the whole process of finding the right tree, casting it, producing it, and even the final installation is part of the whole artwork and gives a certain poetic quality. He took the tree as a multi-layered symbol and set the scene of a very special, even dramatic composition. The sculpture of two casted trees, from which one seems to have been through something like a catastrophe, whirled up on top of the other tree, with the roots reaching out to the sky. The artist took inspiration from the Jewish history, from his own family history, but also from the Jewish Bible and the book of Ezekiel, and the symbolism of the opposites.
The sculpture of Ariel Schlesinger, which will be at the core of our new entrance, opens up all kinds of allusions and association for our audience, which we hope they will feel engaged and encouraged to think twice about possible meanings of Jewish culture and history in this town.